everyone! This is officially take two because last time I tried just a little while ago, I went over for like a way over the time which I wanted to, and I also felt like I was repeating myself. So, second attempt, hopefully this goes good. So, anyway, I'm sorry. I think I promised you guys that I would try to upload a video every Friday. Last Friday that didn't happen just because like I wasn't really feeling it. So I'm gonna try and get on a better schedule. So I'm doing this one. So I hopefully uploading it tomorrow, which it's Tuesday night now. So on Wednesday. I don't know when that's gonna be for you guys, but hopefully I can do it tomorrow when I have Wi-Fi. I still don't have Wi-Fi in my apartment right now. So I'm working on it. I still need to go to the SK place and hopefully they can do it. Or maybe just call them. I don't like phone calls though, so hopefully I can get it done at the SKT place. Oh, my tea's done. So I'm making tea right now. So if I get up, which I'm doing right now, I will see. No, tea. Haha, tea. I love tea. I started drinking it when I was in Ireland for the mission trip. And I got addicted to it. I loved drinking it. So we don't really have that much tea here in Korea. Not a kind that I like anyway. When I went home to Florida a couple months ago, I got a tea that I really liked. So, I can still use it. I'll just taste like peanut butter. This is fine. But, well, there that goes. But, yeah, it's really hard to find right now. And put you guys down here so I can still see what I'm doing. But yeah, it's really hard to find right now in Ireland. No, not Ireland, in Korea. They're kind of like it's hard to find. So I usually stock up whenever I go back to the US. But I've run out, so I haven't gotten to have tea in forever. But then I finally got almost all my stuff moved from my friend's house in Jeju. So I finally got my tea back. I found some Earl Grey tea, I think a couple days ago in one of the stores here, which I like Earl Grey tea a lot. So I haven't tried the Twinings brand yet. This kind, I haven't tried this kind yet. So I'm gonna see how that tastes. Right now I'm just having Natazo green ginger tea. I don't like green tea, but I like it if it has ginger in it. So I put some sugar in it, and I just put some milk. I just put milk in my tea as well. Some people say that, why do you put milk and sugar in your tea? Whoa. Because it tastes better. That's why. It just tastes better. So today I'm going to just be talking more about, I talked about shame a little bit. I want to talk about it a little bit more today because I'm still reading that book that I showed you guys earlier. I'm still reading that, and I was reading some of it last night, and the author was talking about like how shame was a big part of her life. And I think for all of us that's true in one way or another. Like even if you don't have trichotillomania, if you have a different mental illness, or if it's just plain old shame that you have, I think it's really important to talk about, because people in our culture, especially right now, we get ashamed about a lot of things, which isn't good. I think, like I said, it's part of our culture. We don't like being broken. We don't like people who are broken. We don't like talking about how we're broken. We like to pretend that we're okay, that we're all fine, that we're perfect. But none of us are perfect. If we were perfect, we wouldn't be human. So I think it's something that needs to be talked about more, especially, you know, in an age where people have more mental illnesses than ever. And some people just don't acknowledge that because they're not pretty. They don't fit into the mold of, you know, being okay or acting like everything's good or thinking we have everything together when we don't. So, yeah. That's my refrigerator. There's nothing in there right now because I hardly cook. So it's just like eggs and now milk. And oh, grapes. I had grapes today. So I have grapes in there. I have orange juice for tomorrow morning in there as well. So I'm gonna have that. But besides the fact that I don't like to cook, yes, shame, like I said, is a big thing. It's something we should talk about more, but we don't. So I figured that I would talk about shame more tonight because I think it's what a lot of people need to hear, but not what a lot of people like to talk about. Oh Lord, I'm gonna put this on my floor. Oh gosh, oh my light. I'm also gonna plug in my phone because my phone's almost dead. So I'm going to do that. And if you have a special kind of tea you want or that you like, let me know because I want to try and find it. You can also order tea off of iHerb. If you're in Korea, you can order tea off iHerb and they'll deliver it to you. I still haven't figured out how to do that yet, but I want to because I've seen some teas on there that I like and that I want. I think it might be easier to actually sit on my floor. So I think I'm going to be sitting on my floor for this because just I don't want to be bending down to get tea and just have it go everywhere. So yeah, here's my kitchen, guys. There's my tumbler that I still need to wash today. And oh, peanut butter. I'll have to put that away later. I had a snack of peanut butter when I came home. So I just finished eating some. So I just need to put that away later. So, yeah, like I said, I was reading that book last night and the author has trichotillomania as well. And she was talking about like how her being ashamed of it affected her life a lot to the point where she didn't feel like telling her friends for a certain amount of years. You know, how that shame affected her friendships and her family life. You know, her husband knew about it, her parents knew about it, and they were accepting of it, but she still felt ashamed of it. So therefore she couldn't share it with anyone else that she felt close to. So and she makes the point about how Jesus, like how back in Jesus's day, the cross was looked at as a very shameful way to die. Like that was the worst way of dying possible because it was the most shameful one. And when Jesus died, he was given multiple chances to take back his statement, to take back what he said about himself being the Messiah, just so that they could avoid putting him on the cross and crucifying him. And he didn't. Instead he looked at the cross, he looked at all the shame that came with it and decided to do it anyway. Because he wasn't doing it just if he like I said, he had a choice, but he decided to do it because he looked at the shame, he looked at the cross, he saw us, he saw our sin, and he ultimately his love for us empowered him to take on that shame of going on the cross and to dying. And there is hair on my floor, which is part of the reason why I haven't actually done a room tour yet, because I want to clean up and everything's messy in it. But anyway, yes, sorry I get off on bunny trails a lot, but yeah, that's a reason why, like, Jesus looked at the cross. He looked at his shame, like I said, and he decided to die for us anyway because he loved us. So she also says that, you know, God looks at us and he doesn't see our shame. And more importantly than that, he isn't ashamed of us. I'm going to repeat that just so that you guys can hear it And remember it, God is not ashamed of you. He is not ashamed of you. He isn't ashamed of what you've done. He isn't ashamed of what you will do. He isn't ashamed of you at all. Just putting it out there. God will never, ever be ashamed of you. Okay? He knows you. He knows what you're going through. He knows what you will go through. He knows what you will do. And He knows what you have done. He still isn't ashamed of you. So if you're a Christian and you're suffering through anything right now, whether it be trich, whether it be a different mental illness that you can't stop, or anything really, know that God is not ashamed of you. You know, I think that's very important, a very important thing to remember, because like I said, our culture feeds off of shame. We like to shame people into thinking what we want. We like to shame people because of what they do, because of how they act, because of so many different things, and that's not how it should be. But we let that shame get to us, and we feel ashamed when we should be remembering, you know, that, like I said, that God is not ashamed of us. So, background story time. I think I told you guys this before, maybe not so much in depth, but I think I have, that when I first started pulling about it's 10, maybe 10 or 11 years ago, it's been a long time, maybe 10 or 11 years ago, I had very full, very big eyebrows. Obviously mine are drawn out now, because I barely have any right now. But so I started pulling one day because of stress or anxiety over a test that I had that day, and like the next thing I knew, both my eyebrows were gone. Like they were gone, nothing. Okay, so that happened, and then my parents, I love them. I miss them dearly. I loved living with them. They're really good. Like they had their downfalls, like all parents do. I'm not happy with the way they respond to some things, this being one of them. But they made me feel ashamed of myself and what I was doing. They made me feel ashamed of like pulling my eyebrows out, like everything like that. And this was before I knew about trichotillomania. This is before I knew this was an actual disorder. So they made me feel very ashamed of what I was doing, and that continued on for a number of years after, with like just the comments that they would say about it, you know, and all different things. And that shame made me not want to tell anyone. So like I tried to cover up the best I could. Sometimes I didn't care, and but that shame stayed with me for a while. I think I mentioned to you guys again before that I finally told two of my friends a couple of years ago, because God was basically like, you need to tell these people this. And I couldn't get rid of that feeling that God wanted me to, so I did. And they were fine with it. Like, it wasn't a big deal to them at all, which is really good. It made me realize that, like, not everyone will react the same way, you know? So, which is really good to find out. But, yeah, that shame stayed with me for a while. Wow. Whew. I did not know it would turn out like this. But yes, that shame stayed with me for a while. And I had to unlearn, you know, I had to unlearn my feelings of shame. Like, I still get ashamed of myself sometimes. Like, if I've been pulling too much, like, I'll be ashamed of myself, like, when I see hair on the floor or something. And God'll be like, why are you feeling ashamed of yourself? Like, you shouldn't be feeling that right now. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed of yourself. So He takes those feelings away. But yeah, it was a long process. It's a very long process to learn to not be ashamed of something that you can't control, which with any mental illness, you can't control it no matter how much you want to. It's just not something you can really do. So I would especially say to everyone, especially with any mental illness there is, don't be ashamed of it. Like I said, it's not something you can control. You can't control your feelings. You can't control your thoughts. You can't control what your hands do sometimes. Because in like my case, like people who have BFRBs, you guys can't really control it no matter how much you want to. You can't. There's some things that will help. Unfortunately, I did not want to get counseling. I know you can get counseling for trich or any BFRB really if you want to. I don't know. Like I said, that shame followed me around for a while. And like it would have involved me going to see a doctor about it, would have involved me telling my mom about it, who was very involved in my life back when I was living in Florida. And I just didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to bring up the shame again. So I decided not to. Online counseling is very weird. So I'm not going to do that. Maybe if I go live in the US again, I might go to see a doctor about it. Who knows? I'll see where my trich is at that point. Or if I'll even have it, I don't know. God can heal people, He hasn't healed me yet, but maybe one day He will. If not, that's fine. I've learned, that because God hasn't healed me, I still have this for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but maybe it'll heal me in some way. You never know. Like I said, it's very hard. Which is why I have this beanie on now. For me, it's beanie day. It's been beanie day for a while, honestly. So I have 2 bald spots in the back of my head right now. They're very noticeable, very noticeable. So, one of the ways I prevent myself from pulling, especially like this is aimed at you guys who actually have trichotillomania, who pull from your scalp mainly right now. What helps me anyway is if I wear a beanie or if I wear a hat on my head, I notice it's there, and it helps me. Like if I go to do this, I can't touch anything because hat. So that helps a lot. If you have it on, don't be like me today and take it off because you think you're going to be fine. Because I took my beanie off today because I thought it was going to be okay. Because some days it's been okay, but today it wasn't okay. I ended up pulling some hair out, but meh. So I'm wearing this beanie now. I'm going to wear it until I go to bed tonight, so I don't pull anymore. So yeah, if you have trich and you pull from the scalp, beanie is a good way to go. I still obviously might pull from other places, but at least if you don't want to pull from your actual head, from your scalp, then I would suggest a beanie or something. And make it fun. Like wear fun beanies if you want to. Like I have this one that's white and it's fuzzy and has like 2 little ears on the side. And I can go and wear them when it's wintertime. And I'm really excited about that. One of my kids said that my hat was ugly the other day. So that was fun. And then 2 more of my kids said I should wear a ponytail because I told them I'm wearing a beanie because it's windy outside and my hair gets messed up really easily. So like, teacher, you should wear a ponytail instead. So I didn't want to tell them the real reason why I was wearing a beanie, so I said that. But I'm gonna keep wearing this beanie anyway because mainly it helps me not to pull. So like I said, I've learned not to be ashamed of having trich. I'm still learning. I'm still ashamed at some points of myself for not being able to control it. Although, like I said, there's not really a good way of controlling it by yourself. So, if you do have any BFRB, which if you're new stands for body focused repetitive behaviors, if you do have any one of those and you are looking for If you're ashamed of it, don't be, because like I said, God isn't ashamed of you. And that's the most important thing. If God isn't ashamed of you, then you're good. And he will never be ashamed of you, so you don't have to worry about that. I know it's hard. Like I said, I've been battling shame for a while. I've learned not to pay attention to it because it's not a good thing. It brings you down emotionally. It brings you down mentally. It just doesn't help you in any way. If people around you are shaming you, that's their problem. They need to learn that, some things just are beyond your control. Some things are mistakes. Maybe you're feeling ashamed about a mistake you've made a long time ago. Let go of it. That's in the past. God, like if you repented, if you come to God about it and apologize to him and talk to him about it, then he forgives you, and you don't need to carry that shame around with you anymore. And if people are making you feel ashamed about it, then definitely don't listen to them, because they have no idea what they're talking about. So don't let people get you down. Don't let them make you feel ashamed of things that are out of your control, especially if they're out of your control and you can't really control it. Then don't let them make you feel ashamed about yourself or what you're doing, because I felt ashamed about me pulling out my hairs for the longest time, until I realized that by God, by the way, he's the one who helped me realize this, that you can't be ashamed of something that you can't control. Don't listen to the lie that the enemy's telling you, that you have to feel ashamed. You don't. You definitely don't have to. You shouldn't, because like I said, it's not something you can control, and it's just gonna be there. And I think you accept it. You accept who you are. You accept what you do. Especially if you have something like trich. If you accept it, you accept that you do it. You accept that there's probably a good chance that you might not be able to stop it by yourself. And then you go on, and you learn to accept yourself. Like I said, it takes a while. It took me a while to accept myself, and sometimes like I said, sometimes I still get ashamed, and that's okay. But I always have to go back to God, and he always reminds me, don't be ashamed of this. So it's a growing process. But definitely, if you find yourself getting ashamed again, go back to God, and he'll just remind you, hey, don't believe that lie. So yeah, I probably repeated myself again, but it's okay. You guys need to hear this. And you got like half a room tour. Yay. I'll finish up the other half at some point. I don't know. Maybe this Friday before my friend comes. My friend's coming to Jeonju, so she's getting here at like maybe 10 o'clock at night. So I might do my room tour before then if I can get everything cleaned up, because I do want my apartment to be relatively clean to show you guys. And this is even longer than the last video I did. Oh boy. But it was good. So if you guys have any comments or any questions or anything like that, let me know. I love you. Remember that God loves you. Remember that God is not ashamed of you. And just rest in that tonight. Rest in the fact that God isn't ashamed of you and that he loves you for who you are. He'll never stop loving you. So yeah, anyway guys, have a good night. It's night for me here at least. So yeah, I'm gonna finish my tea, which I have barely drank. Tea right there. Yeah, I'm gonna finish that. I'm gonna read for a bit, and I'm probably just gonna get ready for bed, because I have to go get my Wi-Fi thing figured out tomorrow. I'm gonna see if they can fix my phone, because my phone's doing this thing where like it blinks green at the bottom. But if not, I might be getting a new phone, which I like this phone that I have now. So I'm hoping that I don't have to get a new one, but well, we'll see. I really hope I don't have to, but you know, things. But anyway, maybe I don't know. Maybe this Friday, maybe next Friday. At some point, I'll have one of my friends on here, and we can do like a question thing, or maybe like talk about what we like about Korea or something. So I don't know. You guys give me ideas if you want to. Like all like 3 or 4 of you actually watch this. Like I said, I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.